And an unusual legal battle over a monkey selfie has finally been settled. The case started after this Indonesian macaque monkey took its own picture with a camera owned by a wildlife photographer. Animal rights group PETA said the monkey owned the copyright. US judges disagreed, but the photographer has now agreed to donate 25% of any future revenue from the picture to an animal charity. Well, let's speak to Elisa Allen, who's the director of PETA UK, and joins me now. I mean, it's a pretty good picture by a monkey, I have to say, but it's been going on for so long. This was taken in 2011. Why did you decide to take this to court?
Well, look, the US copyright law is quite clear. It doesn't matter who owns the camera, who owns the smartphone. It's the individual who presses the shutter button who maintains the copyright. And there's nothing in the law to specify the species. And you know what this case is really about is just pushing the envelope. Had this case been successful, it would have been the very first time that an animal would have been declared as the owner of property rather than
you didn't get what you wanted, did you? I
mean, we're
the
actually quite happy with the outcome.
There was no decision. It was settled. And in the case preceding it, US judges actually said, no, an animal cannot own the copyright.
Well, we're actually quite pleased with the outcome because it means that a portion of the proceeds will go towards protecting these animals. These are critically endangered animals. Their numbers have dwindled by 90% in recent years. They are endangered with being killed for bushmeat. Their habitats are dwindling at alarming rates, so they desperately need our consideration. But going back to the point of the case, as I said, this would have been the first time in a court of law that an animal would have been declared as the owner of property. And this is important because currently the law and society sees animals as property. And that's really what this case is about. It's about pushing society to recognize that these animals have inherent worth, that these are smart, self-aware animals who deserve consideration.
Okay, but playing devil's advocate, I mean, animals can't own copyrights, can they? I mean, they don't know what a copyright is. They have no idea what the legal ramifications of this is.
Well, this is where this case is fascinating because, of course, if an infant had taken this photograph, had pressed the button, it would be undisputable. He or she would maintain the copyright. So having awareness of what copyright law is doesn't preclude you from being the author of that photograph. But again, really what this case is doing is just forcing society to go one step further. You know, not all that long ago.
So give me the bigger picture. What are you hoping will happen as far as animals and legal rights are concerned?
Well, you know, as I said, not all that long ago, women weren't allowed to own property. In fact, women were seen as pieces of property, as the property of men. But thankfully, society has evolved.
A voice. Animals don't.
Animals do have a voice, just we can't understand their language. And so what we want is for animals to have equal consideration. And this is important because when we talk about animal rights, we're not talking about giving animals the right to vote or the right to drive cars.
Okay.
We're just talking about having them live a life that's free of suffering.
Elisa, pleasure to speak with you. Thank you very much indeed for that. Elisa Allen there from PETA. I think it's a great picture. That's it from us for now, but there'll be headlines in just a couple of moments. Do stay with us.